guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about Rosanna Pansino. She has directly addressed the Colleen Ballinger situation. I had some thoughts about that, and I also want to talk for just a quick minute about the creator Lipstick Nick. She is also somebody who is, in my opinion, based on the credentials that I'm going off of, she is part of the Protector Club, and I'm going to explain that in the same video. So if you're interested, please keep watching. So first things first, let's go ahead and address Miss Rosanna. She has directly talked about Colleen Ballinger. This is not clickbait. This is not an exaggeration. She has gone ahead and talked about Colleen. And I was sent this by one of my Instagram followers, and I kind of, talked a little bit surface level about kind of how I feel out the gate. And how I felt reading this has not really changed now that I've kind of processed the information that she said. But let me go ahead and read her statements, and then I will give you guys my opinions. So she started out and says, addressing questions about Colleen. And she starts out by saying, "The whole situation makes me feel sad and breaks my heart. I'm still processing my feelings. I do believe the behavior was inappropriate, mean-spirited, and I no longer communicate with her. I found out when everyone else did, perhaps even later. When the news broke, I was traveling out of state to finally pick up all the things my dad left me after he passed away and help my mom go through more of his belongings." I want to pause it right there. My heart goes out to her for the loss of her father. Some of you might know, some of you might not know. I am extremely close to my dad. He is the one who raised me, so I sympathize with her for having to go through that type of pain. Simultaneously, I can also say I find it just a little bit, please don't twist my words with this, I find it a little bit odd that she chose to drop that in this statement. Again, maybe it was just so that people understand, like, full transparency, kind of what she was dealing with. But at the same time, like, if you chose to if you got the news late and you chose to not speak publicly on it, then that's just what your decision was. At this point in time, I just don't really find a whole lot of value in talking about her parent dying. And I don't know, to me it just feels odd. I'm not saying that it's bad or manipulative or anything along those lines, but it just seems like an odd choice to drop in this statement that she chose to make. But I also sympathize with her, and I want to make that very clear. She continued and said, "It was emotionally exhausting. I was not online much at all because I was focusing on healing. I was focusing on my own healing with my family. I have not said anything publicly for a few reasons." She lists 3 of those reasons. Number 1, I do not have any new information or insight to add. I never personally witnessed that kind of behavior, wasn't aware of it, nor did I participate. My memories of our time together were with family, and it was very wholesome. My nephew adored her son, and they loved playing together. Obviously, I don't support or condone the behavior that was made public. Number 2, I feel that the most important thing in this situation is that the affected people's voices are heard, which I believe they now are. Number 3, I like to hear both sides when possible. While it's easy to jump onto the side of public opinion, I was hoping for some sort of apology or explanation at some point, which hasn't happened. She finished it off and said, "I hope people come to understand that peer pressuring others to speak on issues before they are ready can be unhealthy. Please be mindful that everyone processes emotions differently and at different speeds. My timeline is not someone else's timeline. I am learning that I tend to process things slower, and that's okay." So I have a lot of thoughts about this. Number one, as far as her reasons for not coming out and publicly speaking about this, I understand that people can be different when you are spending time one-on-one with them. However, the issue with the Colleen situation is it wasn't just baseless claims or somebody running around and saying, literally, you know, she's awful and this is the craziest thing, and not showing one piece of evidence for it. That I can understand, saying, you know what, I'm going to sit back, stay quiet, and wait for either proof or both sides, or, you know, try to collect information. Like that I would understand. But with everything that popped off with Colleen, people were mad because it was so heavily documented. Adam McIntyre shared his story backed up by receipts. Becky shared her story backed up by receipts. Same goes for Ollie and Trent. All of these stories were shared backed up by receipts, proof, and evidence, which is also why the Johnny Silvestri kind of timeline of this was also so important to it, because we have all of these people who were negatively impacted by somebody in the Ballinger, you know, family, basically. And then you have Johnny over here who is having all of these crazy claims against Joshua with no evidence. And it was obviously later proven that he was basically just a clout chasing whatever. So I don't agree with the stance of I like to hear both sides when possible. Okay. But when we're talking about this situation, the sides that were from the victims, Adam and Ollie and Becky, all of these people who came out and shared their story about Colleen Ballinger or Trent Ballinger or Corey, it was backed up by receipts and proof. And instead of Colleen coming out and proving people wrong or taking accountability, she came out with the ukulele video. So you see both of these things happening. There was plenty of time to recognize that you were actively following and participating and being a friend with somebody that was very, very dangerous. And I understand that not everything needs a reaction. There are certain things that I come across online and I think about it 2 or 3 or 4 times, and I think, like, does this really need my reaction? Do I have to make a video on this? I usually do, because I like to share my opinion, and I'm, you know, I have a commentary channel. But there are some times where I'm like, you know what, I'll just let that one rest. It's really not that serious, and I will go on to something else that I think is worth a conversation at that moment in time. And things can change constantly. But I think as far as trying to build a narrative that there was some sort of just hearsay rumor mill swirling around Colleen is unfair. I think it's unfair, and I think that when you make the decision to be a public figure, and I'm not talking about a public figure who has a small YouTube channel and they have, you know, 431 subscribers. We all kind of have a different perspective on like who is actually a public figure. Rosanna is a public figure. And when you're a public figure, who you align yourself with matters. It matters deeply to the people who built your platform that you're standing on, and it exhibits whether or not you have the integrity that people hope that you have when times like this are upon us. Are you going to sit there and be quiet, or are you going to acknowledge, hey, I was friends with this person, but I want to be on the right side of this argument. Therefore, I am voicing my support of the victims of Colleen Ballinger and Trent Ballinger and Corey. And I'm going to have this conversation and allow everybody to know that I stand with victims that have been very transparent about their interactions with Colleen. We gave Colleen the opportunity to come out and take accountability and apologize and all those things. She decided to, strum on her ukulele and make herself a victim. So I'm choosing to stand with the people that she negatively impacted. Am I saying there's an expectation for every YouTuber who, follows each other and did a fair number of collabs and stuff? Am I saying that I expect every single YouTuber to always come out and say exactly how they feel about said situation? No, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that with something as serious and as mainstream and kind of traumatic as the Colleen situation, I would expect people to tell us exactly how they feel about this and exhibit some integrity. And hey, if you want to be a Jojo Siwa and just say that it's a bunch of hearsay rumors and, jealous people on the internet, then you should also say that, because that tells me that you are on the wrong side of the argument and you are okay aligning yourself and excusing a very, very toxic, dangerous individual. Show people who you are. That's it. I did think this was kind of interesting that she put it on her Instagram stories instead of making it an actual post. I do need to check her YouTube to see if she put something over there that's a little more permanent. No, she did not put anything on her community page or anything like that. So her 24-hour Instagram story is all that we're going to hear from Rosanna about the situation. I'm not saying that she's the only person on YouTube to be taking this stance, but I am allowed to disagree with the stance that she's taking. And I just, I don't think that she should be canceled or anything like that, but I do think that she missed an opportunity to really utilize her platform for good. Could you imagine if somebody with a platform that size came out and said, listen, Colleen Ballinger just released a ukulele apology, and this is not okay, and I'm letting you guys know that I stand with the people that she negatively impacted. That video could have come out months ago, and we wouldn't be where we are today, because she would have let everybody know exactly where she stood, and it wouldn't have been a conversation. So that's the thing with Rosanna. Now, I want to talk about Lipstick Nick for just a couple seconds. This is not going to be my full thoughts. Lipstick Nick has 817,000 followers on Instagram. And Lipstick Nick does a lot of makeup. She works with Jeffree Star. There's photos here of, herself, like she does Halloween makeup, special effects makeup. She has been on talk shows. Like, what show is this? The Jennifer Hudson show. Didn't even know Jennifer Hudson had a show. She worked with I Love Sarah. What's her name? I Love Sarah E. Here she is working with James Charles. And that's why I'm talking to you today about Lipstick Nick. Lipstick Nick is somebody who has very publicly supported James. Somebody mentioned Lipstick Nick follows James, openly supports James, hangs out with him in real life, and also still supports and follows Colleen Ballinger. But Lipstick Nick has never called out. And I was like, well, I heard Lipstick Nick's name like a while ago, but I didn't even know like what she looked like or what she did. But then recently, I've thought about these points that people have been making, that Lipstick Nick is not called out. And here's my thing. If you are openly supporting somebody like James or Colleen, then I am absolutely going to talk about it. And I don't care if Lipstick Nick is so talented, super nice in real life, really approachable, does really great things. I don't care about any of that. If you cannot put your own integrity over the dollar bill of working with a problematic, predatory influencer like James Charles, then I think that you're a terrible person. So Lipstick Nick, while she might be talented, she is part of the Protector Club. And I think that this is just such a vivid reminder of, you can give people the fame and the platform, and they might, you know, have something to bring to the table, like makeup artistry or special effects makeup, or maybe they're a singer or a fashion designer. You cannot teach or force somebody to have integrity and exhibit that integrity on their platforms. She literally just hung out with James Charles, that live stream where he was talking about the ugly Morphe palette. I have now learned that Lipstick Nick was in that video with him. Here on October 10th, she shared James Charles playing with some painted paints on James Charles. She had to cut comments off. She got 2,100 likes on that post. Lipstick Nick likes to stand beside very troubling and problematic people. Lipstick Nick, aside from working with Jeffree Star and James, she has also worked with Jaclyn Hill. Just like, everyone's having a good old time. Let's just say F the integrity and morals that we should have. F that. You're a creep. Let's hang out. Let's post all over Instagram. Let's go to Busch Gardens and, you know, ride the roller coasters and do all that kind of stuff. And I'm just so tired of influencer culture. I've had quite enough of awful people reminding people how awful they are every single time. The things that some of these people get away with is astounding to me. It is absolutely astounding. And like I said, Lipstick Nick and James Charles are obviously close friends. And if some people want to make the argument of, well, it's more of a professional working relationship, I don't care. As a professional makeup artist or business owner, you have the control to say, I'm going to choose to pick my own rules over the money that you're offering me, and I'm not going to work with you. Because there's plenty of other clientele out there that are not creepy pervs hanging out on social media. But she has chosen to continue to support James. Lipstick Nick is the newest member of the Predator Protector Club. So welcome to welcome to the show. You know, if people are openly supporting these people, I will call them out. We will talk about it. What do you guys know about Lipstick Nick? I don't know a ton about her, so I don't want to just make, you know, 1,000 statements and they're just blatantly incorrect. I'm going to continue to look into her kind of content. But yes, as of November 8th, 2023, she still supports James and she still follows Colleen Ballinger. She aligns herself with other problematic influencers like Jeffree Star and Jaclyn Hill. And that's Lipstick Nick in a nutshell. But I think that's enough ranting for tonight. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.